जब दिल्ली एनसीआर के अधिकतर लोग रविवार सुबह नींद के आगोश में थे, our alarms rang at an ungodly 4 a.m. Why? To reach Dhanauri Wetlands in time for a birdwalk that began sharply at 6 a.m. It was my very first visit to this famed birding site. My friend Rohit had been there years ago, but we both usually get our bird watching fix much closer to home, at Chandu Wetland near our apartment in Gurgaon. So why go the distance? The answer only becomes clear when you are part of a bird walk. When you witness nature's quiet spectacle unfolding in golden morning light among a gathering of birders driven by sheer passion. And what a morning it was! With 32 cars and 68 spirited birders, it felt less like a Sunday walk and more like a mini bird migration. Dhanauri welcomed us all with ease. Its vast open jeel ensures that even with a crowd, the landscape never feels overrun. Until, of course, the birds give way to breakfast. The moment we arrived, the call of the bristled grassbird echoed all around us. An unmistakable sound rising from the tall grasses. One of the rarest sightings of the day, this elusive species is a master of camouflage and a grassland specialist under conservation concern. Known for its shy nature and preference for staying hidden, catching even a fleeting glimpse of it through the reeds sent a thrill through every birder present. Dhanauri remains one of the few dependable places in North India where this secretive bird still holds ground. इस वॉक को लीड किया धनौरी के सच्चे जानकार रोहित शर्मा और सूर्य प्रकाश ने, जिन्होंने इस इलाके को सालों तक एक्सप्लोर किया है और डिटेल में डॉक्यूमेंट भी किया है। हमारे जैसे फर्स्ट टाइमर्स के लिए गाइडेंस बाय रोहित बहुत काम आया। कहाँ क्या देखना है, विंटर में कौन कौन सी स्पीशीज आती हैं और वाटरकॉक जैसे एल्यूसिव बर्ड को कहाँ स्पॉट करने की कोशिश करनी है। We caught a fleeting glimpse of the elusive watercock just before it melted into the tall grass. Dressed in its striking breeding plumage, the male walked with quiet dignity through the reeds. Unlike its more visible wetland cousins, the male watercock is a rare sight. Its jet black feathers, vivid red frontal shield, and stealthy movements make it one of the most enigmatic and seldom seen birds of the marsh. Witnessing it, even for a moment, felt like unlocking a hidden chapter of the wetland story. As with most bird walks, we were constantly surrounded by the usual suspects. Common birds popping up along the way, some allowed us a closer look, even offering brief moments for video, while others kept their distance, blending into the landscape. But for me, the true star of this trip was undoubtedly the magnificent Pheasant-tailed Jacana. We had previously filmed a detailed video on this species during a rare sighting at Chandu Wetland, where we were fortunate to closely observe and document its elegant behavior. However, at Dhanauri, the sheer number of Jacanas present was astonishing. Unlike the occasional appearance we are used to, here they seemed to be everywhere, flying overhead, gliding across water, and tiptoeing gracefully through wet grasslands. What made the experience even more remarkable was how almost every birder with a camera captured the perfect flying shot, a rare accomplishment with such a graceful and swift-moving bird. There's something deeply captivating about birds with long tails. They carry with them a sense of flow and elegance, and the Jakana exemplifies that beautifully. To watch them tread lightly over floating vegetation, using their long, slender toes to balance delicately on each leaf, was nothing short of mesmerizing. Their streaming tail feathers, poised movements, and the striking contrast of black, white, and gold give them an almost mythical aura, like a moving poem in the middle of a wetland. That morning, Dhanauri felt like it had turned into a natural stage, and the pheasant-tailed Jacanas were its star performers. Graceful, bold, and unforgettable. All through our walk, both common and rare monsoon birds of Dhanauri played their usual game of hide and seek, some showing up briefly to tease us, while others remained tucked away in the dense grass and reeds. Among the many sightings, a particularly charming highlight was the Tricolored Munia. Though we've spotted this species many times before, it's important to remember that monsoon is the best time to catch them in the open, especially during their breeding season. These beautiful birds are present throughout the year, but more often than not, they go unnoticed, blending effortlessly into the habitat. It's only when the rains arrive that they step into the spotlight. At Dhanauri, we found a few perched quietly on a wire, and with the soft, muted background behind them, the entire scene felt more like a carefully painted portrait than a real-life moment. As they flitted across the grasslands, their bold, chestnut, jet black and crisp white plumage popped like brushstrokes on a canvas. While spotting a lone munia is always delightful, seeing a small flock dancing through the greenery felt like a sudden splash of color on the landscape, nature's own celebration in motion. But the true highlight of the morning was without doubt the majestic Sarus crane. In fact, much of this birdwalk was planned around the hope of spotting a Sarus nest from a distance, or if you were lucky, catching a glimpse of a chick. Unfortunately, it seemed the nest had either been disturbed, possibly by stray dogs or human interference, as there was no sign of it. Still, the wetland didn't disappoint. We were greeted by 3 separate pairs of Sarus cranes during the walk, their deep resonant calls echoing hauntingly across the landscape. These magnificent birds, the tallest flying birds in the world, stand out instantly with their graceful stature, slow deliberate gait, and brilliant red crowns. But the moment that etched itself into memory came as we sat down for breakfast. Out of the blue, 5 Sarus cranes flew right over us, slicing through the sky in a perfect V formation, wings outstretched, glowing in the soft morning light. To witness over 10 Sarus cranes in a single outing is a rare privilege. And to have that experience while sipping tea and nibbling on pakoras, that's the kind of moment that gives birth to phrases like breakfast with Sarus. But beyond birds and habitats, there's something even more enduring: the camaraderie of the birding community. At every walk, no matter how early or far, the shared breakfast becomes the real centerpiece. A potluck of homemade delicacies, endless cups of chai/coffee, and enough food to outnumber the attendees. These moments of warmth, laughter, and shared passion for nature are what truly keep the spirit of birdwalks alive. As the birdwalk drew to a close, one couldn't help but reflect on the unique value of landscapes like Dhanauri, a rare mosaic of wetlands and grasslands that sustain far more than just birds. This ecosystem is a haven for resident and migratory species alike, offering food, shelter, and nesting space in an increasingly shrinking natural world. But its value doesn't end with avifauna. Wetlands like Dhanauri are natural climate warriors. They help recharge groundwater, reduce urban flooding, filter pollutants, and regulate local temperatures. Grasslands act as carbon sinks and support countless species, many of which are rarely seen elsewhere. And yet, such precious habitats are often at the mercy of unplanned development and human greed, where every inch of land is seen as an opportunity to be exploited. Dhanauri deserves to be recognized and preserved as a dedicated birding and biodiversity zone. Not just for the sake of birds, but for the well-being of the ecosystem and future generations. What we lose to concrete and chaos today can never be reclaimed tomorrow. In the end, birding isn't just about ticking off species. It's about learning to notice, care, and protect. And as long as we have places like Dhanauri and people willing to rise before dawn just to listen to birdsong, there's hope for harmony between nature and us. अगर आप भी वीकेंड पर ऐसी बर्ड वॉक का हिस्सा बनना चाहते हैं तो नीचे कमेंट करें। We'll help you get in touch with the right group. Keep watching with us the amazing birds of incredible India.